Before he was a dad bod in the Norse lands, Kratos was the Ghost of Sparta, a warrior who waged a nearly 2-decade war against the gods who wronged him. This is a story of that rage-fueled rampage, a 7-game timeline that started with a broken oath and ended with the utter annihilation of the Greek pantheon. But this isn't just a simple revenge story. It's a tragedy of epic proportions. It's about how a man broken by the gods can become a monster strong enough to break them right back. We're going to follow his path chronologically, from his first bloody steps on the battlefield to his final apocalyptic showdown on Mount Olympus. To understand the man who would one day raise a sun, you first have to understand the monster who slaughtered an entire pantheon. Before we get into the rest of the video, I wanted to announce my clothing brand called OneStream. I've been thinking about doing it for the past couple of days, along with YouTube. It's going to be a collection. There's going to be sweatpants. It's going to be like a set, jeans, beanies, hats, shirts. So let me know what y'all want to see, and let's get back into the video. Our story starts not with a god, but with a mortal, Kratos of Sparta. He wasn't yet the pale, ash-covered warrior we all know. He was a man, a husband, a father, and the youngest, most feared captain in the Spartan army. He was known for his brutal tactics and his relentless ambition. His men with fury that bordered on madness, but that kind of ambition often comes at a price. Kratos and his army finally met their match against the barbarians. For the first time ever, Kratos was staring down defeat. His men were being slaughtered, his lines were broken, and the barbarian king was about to deliver the final crushing blow. In that moment of pure desperation, Kratos did something he'd never done before. He looked to the heavens and begged for help.
Ares! Destroy my enemies, and my life is yours!
The sky split apart, and the god of war stepped through. Descending from Olympus, he saw the makings of a god in a mere mortal. Ares would save Kratos. He would turn him into the perfect warrior.
For years, Kratos served Ares, his natural brutality now juiced with divine power. He wasn't just a Spartan captain anymore. He was a force of nature, destroying cities for the glory of the god of war. Ares had a twisted philosophy. To forge the perfect warrior, he had to cut away all of Kratos' moral connections, severing the tethers of humanity that Ares believed were weaknesses. This led to the single most horrific moment in Kratos' life. Ares, in a masterstroke of cruelty, tricked Kratos into raiding a village that worshipped Athena. He blinded Kratos with the battle rage so intense that he slaughtered everyone in sight. Only when the red mist of fury finally cleared did Kratos see what he'd done. Lying among the dead were his wife, Lysindra, and his daughter, Calliope? I'm guessing? Ares had secretly transported them there, knowing Kratos would kill them in his blind rage. Ares' logic was monstrous. A warrior with nothing left to lose would be unstoppable. He wanted to create the perfect killing machine. Instead, he created a monster whose only purpose was now to destroy him. As the village oracle burned the bodies, she cast a curse. The ashes of his wife and child were permanently fused to Kratos' skin, turning it into a ghostly white. From that day on, he would be known as the Ghost of Sparta, a walking reminder of his greatest sin. The nightmares begin that night, visions of him killing his family over and over again. Finding freedom from these nightmares became the obsession that would drive him for the next decade. This brings us to the chronological order of the game. God of War and Ascension. The story picks up some time after the death of his family, with Kratos tormented and broken. He does the unthinkable. He breaks his blood oath to Ares. An oath to the god is no small thing.
With the death of Orcus, the blood oath to Ares was finally broken, and the painful truth rushed back to Kratos' mind. The truth of the murder he committed, the slaughter of his wife and child, the carnage forged from his relentless ambition.
A breaking one earned him the wrath of the most ancient arbiters of justice in the Greek world, the Furies. The Furies' entire job was to hunt down and punish oathbreakers. They captured Kratos and imprisoned him in a colossal structure made from the living body of the first being to ever break an oath to a god. For weeks they tortured him, over and over again, using their mastery of illusion to force him to relive his darkest moments. Alectio and Ares had been secretly plotting to overthrow Zeus, and she saw a potential pawn in Kratos, but with the help of the Furies' own Oathkeeper, Orcos, who was disgusted by their plan, Kratos learned that the only way to truly be set free of his bond was to kill the Furies themselves. He fights his way throughout the nightmarish prison, confronting them. Finally, he faces Alecto, who offers him a twisted fantasy, a world where he can be with his family again, free from pain. If he just rejoins Ares, for a moment he's tempted, but Kratos knows this is a lie. He chooses the cold, hard reality of vengeance over the warm comfort of an illusion. He rejects her offer and in brutal final battle, kills all of them. But he still wasn't free yet. Orcos revealed that the final bond could only be broken if Kratos killed him. Begging for an honorable death, Orcos forces Kratos' hand. With Orcos' death, the visions and nightmares, once suppressed by the Furies' magic, return with a vengeance. Kratos realizes his quest for peace has only just begun. To escape the ghosts of his past, he turns to the only beings he believes can help, the other gods of Olympus. The death of the Furies didn't bring Kratos peace, it just brought clarity. He knew his real enemy was Ares, but a mortal can't just walk up and challenge a god, so Kratos began a 10-year stretch of servitude to the Olympians, hoping that if he did their bidding, they would finally grant him his one desire, freedom from his nightmares. This period leads us right into God of War Chains of Olympus. 5 years into his service, Kratos is sent to defend a city from a Persian army. As he stands victorious, he watches the sun literally fall from the sky, plunging the world into darkness. Athena explains that the sun god Helios has vanished, and the god of dreams Morpheus has put everyone, gods and mortals alike, into a deep slumber, and only Kratos remains. His search for Helios leads him deep into the underworld, where he uncovers a horrifying conspiracy orchestrated by Persephone, the queen of the underworld. Forced into a marriage with Hades, she had grown to hate the gods and the world itself. Her plan was to free the Titan, Atlas, and have him destroy the pillar of the world, bringing everything, including herself, to an end. She sees a kind spirit in Kratos and offers him a choice. She shows him his daughter in the paradise of the fields of Elysium. She tells him he can stay with her, finally at peace, but only if he gives up all of his powers and becomes a mere spirit. Overcome with love and grief, Kratos agrees. He pours his rage and power away, and for a few perfect moments, he's reunited with his daughter. But, as he holds her, she gloats at his choice has doomed the world. With Kratos powerless, nothing can stop Atlas from destroying the pillar of the world, which will wipe out everything, including his daughter's spirit and Elysium. It's the cruelest choice imaginable: stay with his daughter in a paradise that's about to be annihilated, or abandon her forever to save a world run by the very gods he hates. In an act of supreme self-sacrifice, Kratos chooses the world. He violently pushes his daughter away, the sound of her cries echoing as he reclaims his monstrous power, his heart breaking all over again. Filled with a new righteous fury, Kratos chains Atlas to the ceiling of the underworld, forcing him to hold the weight of the world on his shoulders for eternity. He then confronts and destroys her. He returns Helios to the sky and saves the world, but he is more broken than ever. The gods that saved his life, but they couldn't save him from his own despair. 5 more years pass, 10 years of service, 10 years of nightmares. Kratos has had enough. This brings us to the opening scene of the original 2005 God of War. Athena gives him one more task. Her brother Ares is out of control, attacking her city of Athens. The gods are forbidden from fighting each other directly, so they need a mortal to do what they can't. Athena makes a promise: if Kratos kills Ares, his past will be forgiven and his nightmares will end. This is a chance Kratos has been waiting for. He fights his way through war-torn Athens and learns that the only way a mortal can kill a god is with the power of Pandora's box. The box is hidden in a massive temple, chained to the back of the Titan Kronos, who is condemned to wander a desert for all of eternity. Kratos endures the deadly trials of the temple and claims the box, but just as he escapes, Ares, watching him from Athens, hurls a massive pillar that impales Kratos, killing him. Kratos is dragged to the underworld, but his rage won't let him accept death. He claws his way back to the mortal realm for one last time. He reclaims Pandora's box, opens it, and grows to the size of a god. What follows is a crazy battle. Ares traps Kratos in a dark dimension, forcing him to relive his family's murder and fight off an army of his own clones. It's a literal battle against his own guilt. But Kratos breaks free and uses a giant statue sword to run Ares through, finally killing the god who ruined his life.
I was trying to make you a great warrior. You succeeded.
Athens is saved, Kratos has his revenge, but when he demands Athena fulfill her promise, she chooses her words carefully. His sins are forgiven, she says, but the gods can't take away his memories. The nightmares will continue forever. Becoming a god wasn't a reward, it was a curse. Now one of the beings he hated, his grief curled into a cold, bottomless rage. He became an even more brutal god of war than Ares ever was, leading his Spartan armies on a bloody conquest across Greece to drown his sorrows in battle. This brings us to God of War Ghost of Sparta. Kratos is still haunted by visions, but now they're of his long-lost brother Deimos as kids. An oracle had prophesied that Olympus would be destroyed by a marked warrior. Believing this was Deimos because of his strange birthmarks, Ares and Athena abducted him. A young Kratos tried to stop them, and Ares struck him across the eye, giving him his famous scar. To honor the brother he thought was dead, Kratos got a red tattoo matching Deimos' birthmark. Defying Athena's warnings, Kratos travels to Atlantis where he finds his dying mother. She reveals that Deimos is alive, being tortured in the domain of death by Thanatos, the god of death. Before she can reveal the identity of Kratos' father, a curse transforms her into a hideous beast, forcing Kratos to kill his own mother. Kratos finds Deimos, but the reunion isn't a happy one. Deimos hates Kratos for failing to save him. Their fight is interrupted by Thanatos himself, who reveals the god's epic mistake. The prophecy of the marked warrior was never about Deimos, it was about Kratos. The red tattoo honoring his brother, and the pale white ash of his own skin.
He took your brother when it should have been you. None of that matters now.
As Thanatos moves to kill Deimos, the brothers finally fight side by side, but it's not enough. Thanatos crushes Deimos, killing him right in front of Kratos. In a grief-fueled rage unlike anything he's ever felt, Kratos unleashes his full divine power and completely obliterates the god of death. He returns to Olympus, his heart is now stone. The gods had lied to him, hidden his brother and cursed his mother. The last shred of humanity died with Deimos. Staring down Athena, Kratos declares,
It is not over. The gods will pay for this.
This growing tension is explored in often overlooked God of War, betrayal. Kratos is leading his Spartan armies across Greece when he's framed for murder. Zeus sends a messenger. Bro, I hate trying to say names that I don't know how to say and I mess it up. But Cerex? To tell him to stop. Kratos, in his arrogance and fury, refuses and kills him. This act of defiance against a direct order from Zeus is the final straw. It cements his status as an enemy of Olympus and implants a seed of paranoia in the heart of Zeus himself. Kratos' open defiance couldn't be ignored. The other gods, especially Zeus, now saw him as a threat that had to be eliminated. This leads to explosive opening of God of War 2. Ignoring Athena's pleas, Kratos descends from Olympus to join his Spartans in an attack on the city of Rhodes. A mysterious eagle appears, drains a chunk of his godly power, and brings the city giant statue, the Colossus of Rhodes, to life. As he battles the Colossus, Zeus appears and offers him the Blade of Olympus, the sword Zeus used to end the Great War with the Titans. He tells Kratos he must pour the rest of his godly power, to win. Kratos agrees, becoming mortal once again. He destroys the Colossus from the inside, but as it falls, it crashes down, mortally wounding him. The eagle returns and reveals its true form. It was Zeus all along. The king of the gods admits his fear of the cycle of son killing father, just as he killed his own. He saw Kratos' rage and believed he was coming for the throne. He offers Kratos one last chance at loyalty, but Kratos refuses, with the words,
You will never be the ruler of Olympus.
And Zeus plunges the blade of Olympus into Kratos' chest. For the second time, Kratos is dragged toward the underworld, but he's contacted by a powerful voice, Gaia, the mother of the Titans. She reveals Zeus' paranoia and offers a deal. The Titans also hate Zeus, and they're willing to help Kratos get revenge. She resurrects him with a new mission, find the Sisters of Fate, and use the power to travel back in time to the moment of his death. Kratos' journey is a testament to his new single-minded ruthlessness. He's not seeking peace anymore, he's an instrument of pure vengeance. He kills Greek heroes like Theseus and Perseus without a second thought, singularly focused on his target, Zeus. He finally reaches the Sisters of Fate, who refuse to let him change his identity and destiny. Kratos' response is simple. If they won't give him the control of his fate, he'll take it by force. He kills all three of them and seizes control of the loom of the fate. Now the master of time itself, Kratos travels back to Rhodes, snatching the blade of Olympus just before Zeus delivers the killing blow. They engage in a titanic battle that shakes the heavens. Kratos gets the upper hand. As he's just about to finish Zeus, Athena throws herself in the way, taking the blade through the chest. As she lies dying, she reveals the final devastating secret. Zeus is his father, and Zeus feared Kratos overthrowing him. And everyone knew, and they hid it from him. This changes literally everything. His quest for vengeance has now become a crusade. Enraged, Kratos uses the loom of the fate one more time. He travels back to the end of the Great War, just as the Titans were being defeated. He finds Gaia and the others and pulls them forward in time into his present. The game ends with one of the greatest cliffhangers in history. A terrified Zeus looks down from Mount Olympus as the Titans begin to scale up the mountain. Sitting on Gaia's shoulder, holding the blade of Olympus high, Kratos screams up at the heavens, Zeus, your son has returned, and I bring the destruction of Olympus. The final war had begun. God of War 3 picks up at this exact moment. It's total war. Kratos, riding on Gaia's back, immediately targets Poseidon. In a brutal vertical fight, Kratos blinds him and breaks his neck and throws his body into the ocean. With Poseidon's death, the seas rise and flood the entire world. This is the first taste of the apocalypse. With the death of each god, the world itself will unravel. Kratos and her reach the peak of Olympus, but Zeus blasts them both down the mountainside. Climbing to the rock, she betrays Kratos, revealing he was just a pawn for the Titans' revenge, and let him fall into the underworld for the third time.
Listen carefully, Kratos. You were a simple pawn, nothing more. Zeus is no longer your concern. This is our war, not yours.
Kratos is in Hades. His powers are gone, but he's visited by the spirit of Athena. Having ascended to a higher plane of existence, she says that as long as Zeus reigns, there's no hope for mankind. She gives him new weapons and a new goal: find and extinguish the flame of Olympus, the source of Zeus's power. And what follows is a systematic and horrifyingly brutal dismantling of the Greek pantheon. He kills Hades and rips his soul from his body, unleashing the tortured souls of Tartarus. He finds the sun god Helios and tears his head from his shoulders with his bare hands, plunging the world into eternal darkness. Then hunts down Hermes and rips his leg apart. He even beats his half-brother Hercules to death with his own weapons and snaps Hera's neck, causing all plant life to wither and die. He is guided by the spirit of a girl named Pandora, the living key to claiming the flame of Olympus, which protects the box. In Pandora, Kratos sees a reflection of his long-lost daughter, and a flicker of his humanity returns. He becomes protective of her. He finally reaches the box, but the only way to get to it is for Pandora to sacrifice herself. For the first time in years, Kratos feels something other than rage. He feels empathy. He tries to stop her, but Zeus appears, taunting him, telling him that he will fail Pandora just as he did his own family. This makes Pandora into completing the sacrifice, and the flames die down. Enraged, Kratos opens Pandora's box and it's empty. Zeus laughs, but Athena's spirit appears and reveals the truth. When Kratos first opened the box to kill Ares, he didn't just unleash the evils of the world, like fear, greed, and hate, which infected the gods. He also absorbed the most powerful weapon of all, something Athena had placed inside as a counter: hope. It's been buried inside of him all this time, suppressed by his guilt and rage. Pandora's sacrifice showed him the meaning of hope, and now he can finally access it. He and Zeus engage in one last epic battle that ends with Kratos glowing with the power of hope, beating Zeus to a bloody pulp with his bare hands. Long after the king of the gods is dead, his rage is finally spent. The world is in total chaos, flooded, plagued, and dark. Kratos has his revenge, but he stands alone in the ruins of civilization he destroyed. Athena's spirit appears one last time. She congratulates him and demands he return the power of hope to her, so she can rebuild the world and rule it. Kratos looks at her like she's dumb. Then, at the Blade of Olympus, he spent 20 years as a pawn for the gods. He knows that giving this power to another god will only start the cycle all over again. In his final act of defiance, he turns the blade on himself. Instead of letting the power fall into Athena's hands, he releases hope into the world, a gift for what's left of humanity. Furious, Athena pulls the blade from his chest and vanishes, leaving him to die on the ruins of Olympus. The war is over, the gods are dead, the Ghost of Sparta is broken. The camera pans away, showing a trail of blood leading to the cliff's edge. When it pans back, the body is gone. Kratos actually survived. His ultimate fate and his long journey led to a new land, a new mythology, and a new life. Well, that's a story for another time, more than likely in part 2. I hope you guys like this video and have a good rest of your day. Make sure to be looking out for my clothing brand. I'll see y'all later. Subscribe. Bye.